bit of an intro to Climate Cymru. So it was born out of a desire for the Welsh people to be represented at COP26, the UN Biodiversity Conference, and to really help drive that historical moment forwards. So we got busy building a network, and after that, it really became obvious that there was still really important use for this network. And the network is really broad now. So there's 14,000 individuals, there's 50 ambassadors from every corner of Wales, and then there's 300 organizations that are a part of it. And that's universities and unions and big institutions and businesses and charities and community groups. And, some of those have big networks of their own. So hundreds of thousands of people are represented collectively. So the thing that brings it together to kind of make it a united network and still on track is that basic principle that everyone signs up to on the screen. We recognize the climate and nature emergency requires urgent, fair action. And we believe that action should be guided by science and the voices of people across Wales. And then the Future Generations Act is something we also ask the partners to be a part of. And so really core to the whole thing is representing voices, making sure those who don't normally get a voice are heard, and we've been doing a lot of work recently in making sure those voices are captured in Welsh policy. We're being like a bridge to government, but also just heard by leaders generally. We're funded by grant funding. We're hosted by the Welsh Centre for International Affairs, one of the original key partners that was involved in it from the outset. And the aim is to be an absolute catalyst for action, a transformation in society to really unlock action in Wales. And so there is, this powerful network I mentioned, over 300 organisations, and some of the real value that we bring to a sort of Welsh society is in working closely with this network to sort of accelerate the amazing work that is going on, amplifying, like unlocking action from there, sort of signposting to the great campaigns and projects that are going on. We're connecting and bridging across silos because we're across sectors, and then the bridge between wider society and Welsh government, so we're in both directions, sharing information from Welsh government out and then voices in, and then as well as a bridge between to other home nations and to national sort of UK-wide levels and even international levels. So Wales, Climate Cymru sometimes sort of helps to represent and bring a voice to there. And there is times where it's actually really useful for us all to work together. And an example of that, some of the projects that we're doing at the moment, this will change over, month by month, but there's a, really important sort of cost of living crisis campaign going on at the moment, so, tying together the climate, nature, cost of living, energy crisis. They're all interlinked. Another activity that is gathering hundreds of events all over Wales into the largest collection of environmental events that have ever happened, sort of Great Big Green Week, hundreds of events, and we're helping to coordinate that with partners all across Wales. And during that week, we do an electric tour and promoting and showcasing and celebrating community action, really trying to demonstrate to elected leaders that there is a real appetite for change, and that celebrating action and giving a national spotlight to local community groups and projects on the ground. Nature is a key part of it. We recognize the nature and climate emergency are interlinked. We have a nature positive campaign. And there's other things as well. I won't get into too deeply here, but there's a policy hub where anyone who's interested to stay informed on climate and nature policy, want to share their updates and things that they're working on, or ask a question, we've got this sort of space that people can interact. And then we're sort of still building the movements. New partners are joining every day. So, and that's a sort of a whistle-stop few minutes of what Climate Cymru is all about. And it's very much sort of action oriented. We're keen to make this happen in the sort of pace and scale and urgency that the science demands.